Hey, everybody. Welcome back to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast. As always, we have Yinka Yusuf
Hello.
and Akin. Yinka, what's
Yes,
going on,
boss.
brother?
Ade, I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm very good. How's your week
How's your
been?
week? You had a good week?
Kind of. I did. Still work.
Too
More or
much?
less. Nothing exciting.
Yeah. Yeah,
But we had a
same
good,
here.
we had a good sporting week. Yeah. Couple
Yeah.
of midweek games, Champions League, Europa League, um, Conference
Europa
League.
Conference.
Yeah. I mean that interests me because Villa is in there and they were beaten
Yeah.
at home. So we'll talk about that also.
Yeah.
And the NBA playoffs, which we will go into next week, since round one is over now.
hmm
So we've had a good sporting week. You know, I
Yeah.
missed some games, but I think I caught most of them. Even if not the games, I caught highlights. So I guess we're good to go.
Yeah, so I was traveling this week and I was traveling last week, I'm traveling this new week and I'm traveling the week after.
Ajala.
I know, it's getting a little crazy. So I was in meetings during both Champions League days. So I had to watch the recorded at night. Explosive.
I can imagine.
Explosive.
I can imagine.
So we do have a lot to talk about.
We do.
But
So when are we
last
recording?
week,
We're recording on Sunday, right?
yes, we are.
5th of May, Sunday evening.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. So much has happened.
Yeah, so much has happened.
Yinka, we seem to be a little bit color coordinated today.
Yeah.
What are you wearing today?
I'm wearing one of the old Arsenal jerseys.
Third
This will be the
jerseys.
third kid. Yeah, third kid. I can't remember the year.
Yeah.
But I remember Pepe in this jersey. So probably the year we got Pepe.
Yeah, 18, 19. Something like that. Or 19,
and
20.
it's the Visit Rwanda era, so it's recent. It's closer to
last 6 years.
Yeah. That's how I know.
I have a Lakers jersey on, especially for you. This is an old school Gary Payton Lakers jersey.
I know why you're doing this. You're a Knicks fan. Your Knicks are into the second round. My Lakers got bumped. You now decided to troll me by wearing a Lakers jersey. Keep it up.
Well, keep it up. I love Gary Payton. That's really why. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. I love Gary Payton too. Fantastic player. Crazy guy.
Crazy guy.
Right. A fantastic player. I love him. Anyway.
So let me tell our audience what we're gonna do today. So last week we kind of mentioned quote unquote worthy mention segment. But we couldn't get to it. So we'll start with that. Just a bunch of news came up within the past 2 weeks that we didn't get a chance to talk about. So we'll go through them very quickly. And then after that, we'll do a regular review and preview of the top 5 leagues, the Champions League, the Europa League, and not quite the Conference League, but we might talk about that a little bit. Maybe one. And then Yinka will talk about his donkey of the week. I have a unpopular opinion. It will be very short, and that will be it.
That'll be it.
So let's get to it. So first thing that came up, are we gonna have a salary cap in the EPL? So Yinka, you want to set this up? We've talked about FFP and PNS in the past. Now they've come up with a new one. So tell our people what the new thing looks like and what the procedure looks like going forward.
So the EPL, the clubs are planning to introduce a salary cap starting with the 2025 season. So it's not next season, it's the upper one. Yeah. And the new proposal will replace the existing PNS rules.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny and confusing because when they put the new proposal to vote, 3 clubs voted against. The 3 clubs were United, City, and Villa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do these 3 people have in common? You know, that's why
very
I said it's slightly
very rich owners. That's what they have in common.
Yeah, very rich. But they are not the only ones with very rich owners. Your
That's
club
true.
has a very rich owner.
That's
Chelsea
true.
have a very rich owner. So I'm wondering what's
Chelsea
the
abstained. Yinka. Chelsea abstained from the vote.
Because they didn't know. It didn't matter whichever way they voted. It was sure that the thing was going to go through, and they didn't want the name to be leaked in the press that they either supported or they were against it.
Yeah,
so they thought
Chelsea,
they were being smart by abstaining.
Chelsea once again try to go a different route from everyone else. Try to be smarter than everybody else. They really don't know what they're doing, do they?
Yeah, they don't. So that's the premise. And for the new rules, it states that your payroll, which is how much you can pay your staff, will be anchored. So they're introducing this new anchoring system, which is tied to the TV revenue of the club that finished in the 20th place.
Yeah.
And immediately that a couple of questions popped up for me. I'm like, 20th, is it last season or is it a projected 20th this season? How is this going to work? But I understand there's an arithmetic where you can probably estimate what the 20th position will get as a percentage of the total TV revenue. It's not going to be, accurate, but maybe a plus of minus 5% range. Yeah. You can estimate, and you fall within that range. So I'm like, interesting. The second thing that was interesting to me is the PFA, the Professional Footballers Association. What do they have? I mean, what have they said about this? I kind of looked online to see if they've come up with anything. But apparently, they said they need to see the details. They said the devil is in the fine print. Yeah, they need to see the details, right, before they can either comment whether they agree or they don't. But frankly, I'm not sure the extent of power they can wield, whether they can stop this or whether they just, maybe that they just need to enter into another set of negotiation with the owners. I don't know. So there are a couple of things that are still up in the air. But time will tell. We will get to the bottom of this shortly.
Yeah. So a couple things to highlight, and then my own opinions as well. So one, the anchoring is interesting because what you'll have is you'll have the anchor, which is the 20th place team's TV revenue times a multiplier.
Times
that
5.
Becomes the cap. Yeah. So times 5.
Yeah.
That becomes the cap. That's number one. Number two, if that was in place this year, only one team will run afoul of it. That's Chelsea.
No, you should have let people guess first.
I know. I'm sorry. Dramatic pause, drum roll, all of that. So Chelsea would have run afoul of it.
They would have been in violation by a lot. It's not even close.
Yeah. And then I believe the anchor number was like 112, 120 million pounds, something like that. So you multiply that by 5, you still have a lot of room to spend money, right? So there's still a ton of room to spend money. But again, and then this was not a final vote. This was an initial vote, right? So it's pretty much like a vote to agree to vote again, something like that, right? So nothing is set in stone.
Yes.
Yinka, you made an excellent point. You made an excellent point about the PFA. So here is something, I don't know if this is what you meant, but the question is, the money is not going to stop coming into football, right?
Yeah.
So now if the teams cannot spend it on player transfers,
dividend,
where would they go to? So are they gonna spend it on coaches, Yinka? Are they gonna spend it on non-playing staff? Are they going to spend it on facilities? I mean, Bournemouth Stadium is a disgrace. They need a real football stadium. And if they don't spend it on all those things, guess what? It goes back to the owners. Is that what the players want?
It's dividend at the end of the day. That's what it will be.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Sometimes no good deed goes unpunished, right? So you don't want... You don't want people to overspend or whatever. You don't want people who can afford it to spend what they can afford, because you're worried that football economics will be skewed for teams lower down the pyramid. But the reality is, the pyramid is not the EPL. No one in the EPL is going bankrupt. No one, even with a parachute parachute payment relegated out of the EPL, can go bankrupt. The money is too good. You have to really go out of your way to mess around to go bankrupt.
To mess this up.
So yeah, those are my thoughts.
So
all right,
what you said, fantastic point, right? And the people that seem to vote for this, they're claiming that they are protecting the league in general, right?
Yeah.
That it might get to a point that they will not be able to compete. And I'm like, y'all are lying. We can just shut up. You guys are lying because you're protecting yourselves. Because once you get relegated, are you going to keep the same energy when you get to the championship?
Absolutely not. You want to be the richest.
Absolutely not.
You want to be the richest, baddest team in the championship, so you can come right back up. They will not
keep that same energy. Exactly. You will not keep the same energy. So just shut up with all this. Oh, we're trying to... And we've talked about this before, Akin. I'm not a fan of this capping system. Right?
I'm not either.
And if the Premiership is not careful, they are going to lose a competitive advantage. Because last week we talked about being on top of the food chain. The league is on top of the food chain right now. You know what I mean by the league?
Yeah, because of the TV money.
Once you implement this, once you implement this, you are going to get a couple of teams in Europe that will they will have more financial power than the EPL teams.
Yeah.
I get it. The anchoring is still massive, to be fair.
It's still a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money. But you never know. You never know. It's just, I don't think this is what EPL needs now. There are so many, there are bigger fishes to fry, like we say.
And then we don't know what all will be included. So, agent fees when you make a transfer, are those included? Image rights.
It's payroll.
Okay.
Payroll, coaches and players.
Okay.
Agents' payments. I think there's a list.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I remember agents list is the agents' payment is there.
Yinka, after last week,
yes, sir,
we said we're gonna be moving quicker through these topics. So let's move quicker.
We will. Yes.
So the next thing I have is Forest and Barca. Their war against officials, war against the referees. So let's set this up real quick. So both Forest and Barca had calls go against them that they didn't like. That's not extraordinary. That happens at every level, every Sunday, Friday, Monday, doesn't matter, right? That happens all the time, as old as the game itself, right? What was extraordinary was the clubs coming out with a statement that I would say is, will belong more on fan TV. like Barca fan TV or Forest fan TV. It was conspiracy theories. We don't have time to read it, but it was crazy. So I just thought, Yinka, do you see this as an inflection point? Is it just, are things like this gonna be, happening more and more, or was it just a one-time thing?
It's gonna be happening more and more. And I said this a couple of weeks back. I said it's either you're incompetent or you're shady. And you said, Yinka, it has to be. Let's hope he's incompetent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what is happening right now. The owners are like, I'm suffering because of your incompetence. Or is it incompetence? That is exactly what is going on right now. Because in the Forest case, I watched the game. Forest have they have a valid point.
Yeah, they do.
They have a valid point. And they told the PGMOL that this guy is a Luton fan. Now, that one is... I feel somehow about that. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating when you sounded the note before the game, and the game then happens, and you had 3 clear incidences on one player, Ashley Young.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For me, this is it's soap opera things. That's what I call it. It's like a soap opera that is just unveiling here. Because Forest then have a former ref called Mark Clattenburg, who is their consultant. And I'm like, sorry,
He's now
What's
resigned.
this dude?
He resigned a
What's
couple
he
days ago.
consulting? What is he doing?
Yeah, I think they got to him. He's now resigned a couple days ago. I actually think it makes sense for him, for you to hire from a referee, because maybe they can explain how these people think. What I thought was interesting, one of our friends posted this, was the 3 Ashley Young incidents. Like, does it mean Ashley Young is just old and he can no longer keep up with the pace of the game?
Maybe we should call him Ashley Old at this point.
You know, so
not Ashley
like,
Young.
It's one thing. It's one thing to have the energy to keep up with all these kids or whatever. But I mean, if all the calls are going against you, you're just a second too late on your tackles.
Yeah,
it's time to go count your money. All right,
but Akin, one other thing before we move on quickly.
Yeah.
I wasn't too happy with the way the British press and media, the way they handled this matter. Right?
I'll say more.
Everybody just came. They just seem to throw Nottingham Forest under the bus, and they were not really looking at the main issue. The only person on Sky, because it's the Sky feed that we get here in Nigeria.
Okay.
Louis Saha was the only person on TV that said, "Hold on, guys, they have a point. Let's not throw the baby and the bathwater away. Yes, the way they went about it might be wrong, but they have a point. There's a refereeing problem."
Yeah.
Everybody just came to talk about, you're a club, you shouldn't come out and make that kind of statement. That's what you guys are focusing on.
Yeah.
Nobody is talking about the refereeing problem. And I think the referees, they have the media on that. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
You tell me not to say that.
No, because if you think about it, the pundits are former players, right? They all eat out of the ecosystem. They need us to believe everything is on the up and up, right? It cannot be that the league is unfair. That threatens everybody's livelihood. Yinka, what would kill everything right now is, so what happened with Brentford striker, what's his name, who was suspended for
Ivan Toney,
yeah. If that happened with a referee, like it happened in the NBA 20 years ago, it's over. You're really threatening the business. So I think that's why people fall in line. So 2 quick things.
Okay.
The only incidents I can compare this with was Mourinho and Benitez reading out. Remember at a press conference, reading out like a long list of grievances.
Minute 45. XYZ had a tackle on.
back in the day. The Benitez one was crazy because he's not a bombastic guy. So him coming to the podium and then methodically talking about how he's been victimized, that was great TV. And then the other one, the more recent one, was Arteta and the club.
Newcastle.
Against Newcastle. And then when he was charged and the club came out forcefully in support of him. But that was just weird. So those are the 3 coaches that come to mind. But this one did not come from a coach, because Nuno Espirito Santo was like, I'm not in this. Like, what are we doing? Why are you making, So because they put the mic in front of him and he's like, I just want to talk about my team. This was the club. This was the club. All right.
Yeah. Then the Barca bit. The Barca one.
Oh, yeah.
That is the one that is even more egregious in my eyes, right? Because the reason why VAR did not give a goal was simple. They said they did not have enough camera angles to confirm without any doubt that the ball crossed the line or not. And the Barca fans suddenly started showing them camera angles.
All the angles.
All the angles.
Some of it doctored. Some of it doctored.
Some of it doctored. Some of it from fans in the stadium, right? And it then begs the question: why is it that La Liga don't have VAR? I mean, goal line technology. Why don't they have GLT?
So this happened in the EPL, but not on the goal line. It happened on the what do you call that? The end line?
Yeah, the sidelines.
Yeah, the sidelines. Yeah. So it was, and I'm thinking, if this is the goal, Why can't you extend your technology both sides? You don't have to do it for throw-ins, right? You could, but you don't have to. But can you do it for corner kicks and goal kicks? Can you at least? It's the same line. So you know what I mean.
But EPL have goal line technology.
I know.
I think that is the more important decision. The more important decision is to know that the ball has crossed the line.
I know.
Because that's a goal. If the ball goes out, it's a corner, it's a goal kick.
Yeah. But
not as important.
You can get a goal from
as
that.
Goal.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. But Barca, the whole La Liga should cover their face in shame because I don't understand. And the reason, I actually checked this, I double checked a couple of times. Yeah. The reason was because La Liga thought it was too expensive.
Oh, no,
because it's like $4.5 million.
The president
That's what they said.
The president said it.
That's $4.5 million a year, and it's too expensive. They can't.
It's like 5 to 6 million euros, and you get a controversy every once in a while. It's not that big a deal.
I'm like, this guy did that because he needs wiggle room to be fraudulent. I've said this before. You and our common friends said I shouldn't say stuff like that, but that's the truth. This is just wiggle room to be fraudulent. Simple. Yeah. Simple. Let's go.
Okay. So let's stay with the Barcelona theme.
Yep.
One of my favorite players to ever play the game, Xavi Hernandez, had announced 2-3 months ago that he was gonna leave by the end of the season. He wasn't being fired. Yep. He just said, "I'm done. I'm gonna go."
You didn't know.
Oh, okay.
They might have just respected him and say, "We'll give you the grace to say you are leaving."
That's real. That's real. But the reason I said that is he's not the first one. This is a quintessentially Barcelona way of doing things. Everyone leaves this way. They all announce they're gonna leave. And sometimes they leave when they're doing well, like Pep. Sometimes they leave when something's happening. Their coaches die on the job. They don't plan to die; they just die. So this is a Barcelona way of doing things. But anyway, they decide he's now decided that he's staying. What is going on at Barcelona? And it's funny. I think it was 3 weeks ago when I said, when I'm looking at this team, there's so many potentially great young players. Why would you want to leave? Remember, I was asking that question.
Yeah.
Why would Xavi want to leave? You're a young manager. You have Barca DNA. Your team's doing well. In my opinion, you mismanaged the league. The Champions League, bad mistake, rush of blood to the head. It is what it is. Like you said, it's knockout ball. It is what it is. They could have won the league this year. They mismanaged it. They had better health on their team than Real Madrid did. There's no reason for Real Madrid to be winning ahead of you with games to spare. So they mismanaged that. He has to take responsibility for that. But those boys he uncovered, the future is bright. Why would you leave?
Okay. So this whole scenario, I find it a bit odd. And I think my perspective is different to yours. You think he decided to leave. I think he was fired.
Wow.
And I think he was rehired.
Oh, wow.
That's how I see it. Because that's the only way you call him back into negotiations and you having meetings do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get
because it was more or less, they went through multiple days of meetings, right, for him to come back on board. So for me, like my dad used to say, if a dog bites you the first time, that dog is crazy. But if that same dog bites you the second time, you need to get checked out.
Or
that's exactly what I have to say to
It might be our President Biden's official dog. He keeps biting.
Oh my God.
My God.
Right? If you didn't get it, Xavi is the dog in this analogy.
I know.
So Xavi, his resume before taking over the Barca job is really nothing. Do you understand? Right? Yeah. And his coaching experience, you can only give what you have. So he's gone through the whole Barca situation. But the Barca that he knew is different from this Barca. You don't have a Messi. You don't have an Iniesta. And you're trying to play the way you played back then. That's his problem. And we are going to talk about this later on. The game against Girona, you saw the game.
Oh my God!
Come on now. If Barca forgot why they fired him, that's why you fired him.
Yeah,
that's why you fired him.
I don't want to get into that now, but the lack of energy in that second half blew my mind. It just blew my mind. It was 4-2. It could have been 6-2 easily.
So my question to Barca is this: were there no better coaching options? Did you guys
There might not be, bro. We'll talk about it with Bayern. There might not be, brother.
Did y'all talk to Klopp and he said no? Did you talk to Girona coach Mikel, or what's his name? Did you talk to Iraola at Bournemouth? Right? Did you? What did you do? So what happened? What has changed between when you sacked him? Well, sack quote and unquote, and when you brought him back.
So
what has changed?
I would depart from you a little bit on this, right?
Okay.
So I would say up front, Xavi is one of my favorite players to ever play the game. So
same here.
Same here. I cannot be completely objective here, but
that's where we differ.
I know, but I think Barca was so broken that you can go one of two ways. You can go get a young Mourinho type, like a young Diego Simeone type that just throws everything away completely. And you start hacking people and you say, this is how we play now. Forget La Masia, forget all this nonsense. We're different now. You and I know that's never going to work, right? Or you get someone like Xavi who understands how it broke, who understands, how it broke on the playing side, on the coaching side, but most importantly, on the organizational side. For me, Yinka, when I think about the result for me is those kids. Those kids are ridiculous, Yinka. The talent on Barca is stupid.
But it is the La Masia. It's not Xavi.
I know.
It is La Masia.
But
it's not Xavi.
Why don't you want Xavi to mold these kids?
No. I don't have a problem with this. So I don't have a problem at all. Okay. I'm fine with it. I'm just wondering, whether they've gone through the proper thought process in arriving at this situation. That's all. Because when after he was fired, there was a slight improvement in their performance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course there will be. He's no longer coaching under pressure. He's not. He's now freer. He's, I'm going next season. I can do whatever I want to do. And he did well. Yeah. Once you reappointed him, then the Girona performance happens again. I pray this works out for him because I love Xavi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? I love Xavi.
And he won the league. He won the league last year, Yinka.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he won the league last year. And now he has even better players. They're young.
So maybe I'm overreacting. Well, time will tell.
Yeah, okay. I still think the real problem was how did they mismanage the league so poorly? Something was going on in the background. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, because they almost feel this season like Liverpool felt last season. Not as bad. But maybe to your point of the last 2 weeks, maybe if they were in the Premier League, they might have done as poorly as Liverpool. Because you take your eye off the ball, But anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man, I'm so good at this stuff now, Yinka. I'm looking at the list right now. The next thing is Liverpool. And I was just talking about that. Let me pat myself on the back for this. Anyway, Arne Slot is apparently the new manager. Is going to be the new manager at Liverpool. Liverpool haven't announced it, but The Athletic has written a profile, so it must be true.
Yeah. It's no longer a secret.
I did not read that profile. I've watched his team play, but I can't tell you I have an opinion one way or the other, and I don't want to lie to our people. So do you have an opinion on this guy? Because I don't.
Yeah, you know me. I'll try. I'll give it a shot. So this guy, his coaching resume is just 3 teams, and they're all in the Dutch league. 62% career win percentage, across board.
That's good.
He won the Dutch league last year with Feyenoord. They're not going to win it this year. I think this year will be PSV. He also was runner-up. Was it last year in the Europa Conference League? The one that Roma won?
So,
was it the one that Roma won? That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah, with Mourinho.
Yeah. So Roma Feyenoord played the final. He was the coach then. But that's all. That's it. There's nothing else. So he's a good coach. But the question is Liverpool the ideal next step for him? And is he the ideal next step for Liverpool?
It's a great question.
Because you're moving from a firecracker. I don't know how else to call what other adjective I used to call Klopp. You're moving from Klopp to those are heavy shoes to fill, right? And Liverpool right now, it's come to everybody's attention that upon all the gragra, like we say in Nigeria, all the effort, how many trophies did you win during Klopp's era? Yeah. So the expectation is going to be massive. Coaching a Feyenoord who is not even expected to win the Dutch league, crossing over to Liverpool who is expected to win the Champions League. That is the comparison in expectations, right? Does he have the clouds, the charisma, the gravitas? I don't know. A lot of people bring up the Arteta comparison. But what did Arteta do before? I get that.
But Arteta was not an experienced coach. This guy is. This is more like Postecoglou. But
exactly,
it's more like that. Yeah,
exactly. But Arteta also has a link to Arsenal, right?
That's true.
So they'll look at him and say he's one of us. So he has that. I don't want to say insurance, but you get what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy, if the first 2-3 weeks, if things are not good, he might as well be fired. It's that bad. Yeah. He doesn't have any leverage, anything. It's a risky hire. I guess it's high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But time will tell whether he performs very well. But based on the way Feyenoord play, if that is only what we're looking at, he seems to be a very, very good coach. Everything I've said, don't let's disregard that and think he's a poor coach. So Feyenoord play good football.
They do.
You can give that to him. Yeah.
So a couple of things. Let's talk about the facts. Feyenoord will be the third biggest team in the Dutch league, I think.
Yeah.
I think Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord, right?
Yeah.
There might be a very close fourth coming up right behind them. I don't know which one it will be, but there might be.
Maybe Alkmaar or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because they're big cities with, underperforming clubs and all that. But anyway, so that's one. Two, who was the guy they wanted from Sporting Lisbon? It would have been the same thing. A little younger, right? Sporting Lisbon is technically a bigger club than Feyenoord. Yeah. Portugal is probably a bigger league, all things considered. But, similar. So here's my thing. We're recording on a Sunday. Liverpool played today. They were up 4-0 against, Spurs.
We'll talk about them. We have to talk about Spurs.
And then finished the game 4-2. And that just felt like your quintessential Klopp game. Yinka, whether they use that language or not, right, themselves, the coaches, what do people who write about Pep and Arteta say? What is the common thing about them when they talk about their style? They want
aggressive, open football.
Nope.
What is it?
Control.
Yeah.
That is the number one thing, right? I think 2 weeks ago I talked about all the defensive signings that Arteta made.
Yeah.
He signed one center forward. He signed like 1 million left backs, 500,000 center backs, right? Control. Pep won La Liga playing zero defense, as far as I'm concerned. One season, they conceded 18 goals in 36 games. They had, in my opinion, a very average goalkeeper. How did they do it? They didn't give up possession.
Form of defense.
They didn't give up possession. And they weren't necessarily attacking. They were just controlling the game, you know? So that's the difference. Klopp doesn't control games. Klopp attacks, right? Remember what we talked about. The Klopp didn't even design his midfield for 8 years to be in control. Everything went through the wingers. The wingers to the forwards, bomb. And then, you know, it was like basketball, but not in the way people who watch football talk about basketball. In that it just had the 3 midfielders in there for fouls. You know how you have a big body in basketball for 6 fouls?
I'm for hustle.
Yeah, for hustle. They would do the running for you and the breaking up plays and all that, because you know your guys would not track back. So Klopp is not a control kind of guy. So the question is, can you do this in the modern game? Have they seen enough? Are they bringing in someone who would, you know, who will pay a little more attention to that side of the ball, right? So I that would be the nuance. You know, it's hard to see it, but because I don't want to speak ill of Klopp. Before he came to Liverpool, I really wanted him at Arsenal. When he was coming, I was very jealous. He's a great coach. He's still a great coach. But most people don't get better as they go into their mid and late 50s at whatever job they're doing. Because you don't have the same energy you had at 45.
Absolutely.
Remember when Michael Jordan came back to the Wizards and Shaq was playing that night. The first night it was announced, and someone stuck a mic in Shaq's face, which was a bad idea. They're like, "Oh, what do you think about Jordan coming back?" And Shaq, let me do my best deep voice Shaq impression. Like, bro, 38, it ain't 28. You know, it was right. 38 is not 28. You know, you translate that to coaching. Like Mourinho, did Mourinho forget how to coach? Why is he not winning? You know, did Ferguson forget how to coach? You know, did Wenger forget how to coach? You don't get better with age, you get better with age until a certain point, and then you start declining. It happens to everybody. You know, all of a sudden we heard that, was it the last 10 years of Ferguson, he wasn't taking training? Which is crazy to me. How are you not taking training? But then conversely, Wenger would not give up training. Neither worked. You see what I mean? Neither worked. Hands off, can't hands off. Neither worked. That's not the modern game. That's not how people do it. You know, no one got better on the either guy for like the last few years. They would just, okay, go run around a little bit, see what you can do. The one that had the most money was able to do something. The one that didn't have enough money was not able to do anything. They could not improve teams anymore. So maybe Klopp is beginning to enter into that phase where the energy is not there. You know, the ideas are getting stale. So let's see what this new guy does. All good?
So just to wrap up on Klopp, he said something, right? I'm just going to read it out to you. He said, the Premier League isn't overrated, it is overworked. And he said, no English team will be in an European final. We should ask, do we decrease the intensity for the players? If no English team is an European final, have we underperformed? He said, no, the PL is the best in the world. It's not overrated. The players are simply overworked. Someone needs to help the people cut off some games. Yeah? Said, I had a chat with TNT, a television show, which I will never watch again. And they said, they pay us to play football, but I don't see it that way. Football pays them. He says he thinks it's the other way. So the man is just saying, I'm tired. And I'm not the only one that is tired.
Yeah.
The clubs too are tired. And I'll bring this point again when we get to the Europa League, when we're talking about Villa. Okay. Yeah.
So
let's move on.
Just one quick, and because we have the next topic is cracks at Liverpool. So I'll just again, I'm killing it today. So a couple of things. Number one, Pep also complains about that. Then you know what he does? He goes and he buys 2 more players for each position. So he complains.
Absolutely.
He complains. But Yinka, when they played at home to Wolves.
On
Saturday, yesterday, right? His first 3 subs, I believe, were Jack Grealish, Jeremy Doku, And was it Stones? I can't remember the third one. Okay. Grealish is $100 million. It was the best player at Villa. Was the best player at Villa. Was Stones the third one? Did you confirm? The third?
No, that's what I'm trying to get for you. Just keep making your point.
Okay.
I'll get
my
to it.
point is, when I looked at it and I said, my club Arsenal, these three people will start for Arsenal. Period. They will start.
So all in all, he made 5 subs. So you're right. It was Grealish, Doku, Stones, Alvarez, and Matheus Nunes.
Okay, so
if I combine the cost of these guys, we're talking almost £300 million.
Yeah. So Nunes will not start for Arsenal, right? Alvarez will walk into the Arsenal team today. It will be the number 9 today. Because I don't care whatever you think all your number 9s bring to the table. This man has now scored. This guy has been playing for 2 minutes. He's already scored 35 goals for City, and he barely starts. His future is ridiculously good, But anyway, so that's how that's how Pep does it. Arteta, how does he do it? It's like, I don't want to hear about everybody's fouling Saka. I'm not gonna tell referees to protect him. I'm gonna tell him, you're not gonna be great if you can't play 65 times a season. That's it. So young people don't make excuses like this, and that's the difference between Arteta and Klopp. Arteta is not tired. It's like, I will outwork you. What are you talking about?
And so I get that point, right? But what he's saying is actually valid. Is his reaction to it that you have a problem with?
Yeah.
What he's saying is 1,000% on point. Anyway, let's move on. Cracks at Liverpool. Cracks
at Liverpool. There was a spat. Did we talk about it? There was a spat on the sideline last week. We talked about it last week. They came back. They came back to everything was all good. Salah scored. Pep was very vigorously clapping for him on the sideline.
Klopp, you mean?
So Klopp clapping for him on the sideline, like, what's bad, But anyway, Yinka, let's wrap up that little segment because we kind of talked about it a little bit last week as well.
Yeah, we did.
What
we did.
What do you think? You said about 6 episodes ago that Salah will go to Saudi.
Yeah.
Do you still believe that? Does this make it even more likely?
News came out and they were like, he's going to stay. And I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Even if I'm Liverpool, I think it's in my best interest that he leaves now. Right? Just see himself and Klopp. So that's the Klopp era gone. See him into the sunset. Get whatever money you want to get. And let the new guy, start building his team with the inflow that you get from Salah. Yeah? That's what I will do. Because he will get to a point. He's not going to sign a new contract. He's just going to walk out of the door for free. Is that what you want? It's not what you want. So that's my position. I'll be shocked if he stays. And good luck to Liverpool. It's not my headache, but hey, that's how I feel. Get whatever you can get for the guy, and just close the Klopp Salah era, because I believe the era is Mane. What's the Brazilian boy? Firmino, Salah.
Yeah.
That's let everybody ride into the sunset together. But thank you for your services. Then move on with a new fresh slate with the new guy. Yeah.
I think guys like Salah do not grow on trees. So I think you need him to help out the new guy. To tide you over until you figure out what's going on. Gakpo had a decent game today, scored a nice header, but it's not Salah. Nunes, we don't know what Nunes is. Diaz is not Salah. I don't know, man. You might need him for 1 or 2 more seasons.
If they get 120 for him,
then
you put 17
goodbye Salah.
You put 17 to Kudus. Right?
Yeah, goodbye, Salah.
And you put the extra 50. Exactly my point.
No, you're right.
Exactly my point.
I didn't know we were talking 120 million. I thought we were talking something less crazy.
Of course. No. He's not going to go for anything less than 100.
Oh, yeah.
To Saudi? To Saudi? Nah, he's not going to go for anything less than 100.
He can go. He can go yesterday.
So just to wrap this up, I just want one area to touch on.
Yeah.
The championship. We don't typically talk about this.
No, we do.
But Ipswich are joining Leicester in the Premiership next season.
Yeah.
So we wait to see what will happen to Leicester's P&S violation that they wanted to dodge from. So the playoffs will be between Southampton, West Brom, Norwich, and Leeds. Leeds messed up significantly. Akin, they were at the point they were almost guaranteed for promotion. Now they're into the playoffs. I just thought that was a major bottling by Leeds, and they didn't sell most of their players. They wanted to come back almost immediately.
Just like Leicester.
Anyway, just like Leicester.
A couple points, maybe 3 points. So number one, Ipswich Town, Nigeria's new national team coach, Finidi George, played for Ipswich. So, just wanted to note that. Congratulations to him as well. I'm really, really, really happy that Nigeria will be coached by a Nigerian. Call me nationalist.
I told you I spoke to him on Saturday, you know.
No, you don't tell me anything. How did you speak to him on Saturday? Sorry.
So he was in Ilorin with Yinka.
Yeah.
And
I saw the pictures.
Friends. As a good friend with my brother.
Yeah.
We had a FaceTime call.
No way.
I spoke Saturday. Yeah, I did.
Did you speak to him about a certain podcast that you?
Not yet.
I mean, look, if he needs to get his message out there, I can't think of two better. I can't think of two better supporters. Okay. I'm just saying, this is a safe space. This is a safe space. We love our Eagles. We like these players that we have. And now we like our coach. I love it. It's been a while. I think since Keshi. I haven't liked our players and coach at the same time since Keshi.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Because even when we had Amunike coach for a little bit, right?
And
even when we had some of the players were questionable and problematic at the time. So, but anyway, so that was my first one. The connection. Leicester. So we talked about Ipswich. Leicester coming back. Leeds bottling. You said what else? I wanted to say something else. Oh, I do not like the playoffs for qualification. Do not like it.
We know that already.
I was explaining this to my daughter this weekend. I'm like, they play 46 games. If that's not enough,
no more.
Because this is not like the NBA where you're tanking so you can get a draft pick. Who doesn't want to get promoted? Who does not want to get promoted? This is a pure money grab. There is no need for it, Yinka. Like, there are no meaningless games. Like, what are we doing?
Back in the rules were set before everybody started, so
I know. They're dumb.
So I can complain about it.
No.
You know what they do in the Bundesliga?
Yeah.
They get the third team to play the third teim or third to the bottom team in the Bundesliga.
That makes more sense to me, Yinka. That makes more sense to me. No, I'm serious. That makes more sense to me.
No, but I'm telling you, it's still the same thing. You could have said, okay, you have 30-something games to either get promoted or get demoted.
No. That's different. Now you're going, this is a pure money grab. Now they're saying third place 6, fourth place 5th in Wembley. That's a money grab.
It's the same thing. It is the same thing. Home and away for these guys too. It's the same thing.
But I would say this is real. In Germany, there's more jeopardy, which is, hey, we have 2 guaranteed spots, 2 guaranteed to go down, but number in Germany will be number 15. 16 is not guaranteed 16. To stay, right? And that one, I know it's going to be a dogfight. You know what I mean? So I
hear you.
But anyway, let's move on. So that I just wanted to say.
I hear you.
Okay, sorry.
I love it. I'm looking forward to it.
I get fired up.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't like gimmicks, Yinka. I don't like gimmicks. Anyway.
I so love it.
I couldn't hate it more if I tried.
Let's move on to reviews and previews.
So we went a little over the time allotted, but we'll keep going. Yinka Yusuf, let's talk about the Champions League first. Because it's just the semifinals, first leg, 2 games. On the first day was Real Madrid going to Germany and playing Bayern Munich. First, I would say Bayern are a new team. I don't even recognize them anymore. Okay, they kind of know what they're doing. It's like they just needed the Bundesliga to be done, And now the pressure is off. They're like, oh, we have all these great players. Oh, I've been asking when Muller was gonna play, and Muller did play.
Yeah,
and it wasn't terrible. So but anyway,
wasn't at all.
Game ended. I think it was 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2.
So now they return to Madrid.
Yeah.
Most experts are saying this is Madrid's now to lose. I think I agree. I also, so give us your thoughts.
Okay. So this game was a lot more tactical than the other semi-final. That one was just that was gung ho.
That was crazy.
it was like a Texas shootout or something. I don't know what's going on in that game. This one was a lot tactical, right? Both teams were kind of gauging themselves to see what would you do, what wouldn't you do. Madrid once again didn't play with a recognized striker. What's his name? Bellingham was kind of in that role.
False nine.
You see Vini's goal. You could see what's his name? This German boy, Toni Kroos.
Oh, that
he
pass.
Pointed the finger.
Oof.
He pointed the finger. I'm like, dude. And you see that communication was telepathic. And the guy made the run. The pass came through, solid goal, right? So what I want you to realize is, apart from the two penalties, which in my opinion were soft penalties.
They were soft, yeah.
The two moments, the other two goals came out of individual brilliance by the players.
Yeah.
Sané's goal was, come on.
That was his first goal since October. That was his first goal since October.
And this is the Sané that we knew as City.
I know.
Exactly. This is the Sané we knew as City. This is the Sané that Bayern bought. But injury has always messed him up significantly.
And now he's 28. He's not young anymore. He's 28 now.
Yeah, he's not young anymore. And if you watch that goal, as he was running at, what's his name? The left back, Mendy. As he was running at Mendy was telling Toni Kroos, block. Don't let him cut in onto his left. He was kind of gesturing that, guys, I need help on this side. Yeah? And there was no help.
But it was barely a cut. It was if an average player would cut, this was half a cut. You know what I mean? It was barely, it did everything in like one swift motion. It was, man, it was unbelievable.
If he had taken an extra touch, Kroos would have probably tackled him.
Yeah.
So it was just one cut, boom, left leg into the net.
Explosive.
See, I also think Madrid will go through, but I'm just looking forward to Wednesday or Tuesday, whichever day it is.
They played first, so they'll go second. They'll go on Wednesday.
So they'll go second.
Yeah.
They'll go second. So let me move on to the next game. How the second game ended up 1-0 is beyond me.
Yinka, can I say something real quick?
That game could have been 5-5 or something.
Can I say something real quick on this one? So, this was the one topic I was looking forward to the most. Because, you know why? Jadon Sancho.
No, Sancho had the man of the man performance.
God. Oh my God. So now I don't know. As much as I love the guy, I'm like, is this a one-time thing? Or are you back?
It is a one-time thing, and I can explain why he did.
Okay.
Akin, that game was an open game.
I know.
It was attack, defense, attack. Well, let me even say defense. There was no defense.
There was no defense on either side.
Attack. On either side.
But Yinka, did you see the numbers about dribbles? He dribbled past more players in that one game than apparently he had in however many games he played at Man U.
So that tells you that the game, well, maybe not the problem, but the game is the problem, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
That game, there was no tactics in play whatsoever. I'm telling you, that game could have been 5-5. It could have been 6-6. There were chances upon chances. Mbappe hit the post. Then Vitinha hit the post. It was just back, forth. And I'm sitting there saying, God bless whoever removed the away goals rule in Champions League football.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
God bless you.
Absolutely.
Because there is no way you will have had away goals rule and that game would have been that fun and that open.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic game. Sancho had a great day, And they gave him a left back. It was Mendes that was marking him. Mendes is a left winger that you converted into a left back.
We've talked
the guy
about
can defend a lick. Exactly. He can't defend the league. So this guy was just, oh God.
But
it was fun.
Adeyemi,
It was fun.
Adeyemi had a great game as well. It's so funny because, I was watching CBS and Henry was so impressed with Adeyemi, but not with what he did offensively. It was what he did in defense. And it
because
broke
of
it
Hakimi.
down. Oh yeah, it broke it down, and it was like, look at what he did defensively, and then look at how he worked with the kid from Chelsea. What's is it
Mattisson, or what's his name?
Yeah, look at how they knew when to come in, go out, all of that stuff. So I thought I thought I was really good.
I think that's the only defensive tactics that the Dortmund coach had is I need to be mindful of Hakimi, and that's it. Every other thing in that game was just, play anyhow.
Yeah.
Unlike the Bayern Madrid game where, Madrid had a 3-man midfield of Valverde, Cruz, and who was the third person? I can't remember. Then what's the name? PSG had Lima, Goretzka. They had a solid midfield.
Yeah.
This one was just, let's go. Attack all the way. Fun game. But I think the final is still going to be Madrid PSG.
So I think Dortmund will regret not scoring more goals.
Yeah.
Because for all that, I mean, we're talking about how well they played. They were home, 84,000 people, and they only won 1-0. I think, people think Mbappe played poorly. He did not. He didn't score.
He did not.
But he didn't play poorly. I think it was scoring hat-trick.
I agree.
I think it was scoring hat-trick in Paris. So but this is what he does. This is what he does.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I think
so
PSG.
You agree on the Madrid PSG final, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So let's wait till next weekend where everybody will throw a pie at our faces for messing up this prediction again.
The way I look at it, I think the second leg in Madrid will still be tight. I just can't see either team. I mean, I can't see it. Bayern are not City.
Yeah.
Bayern don't have the quality or, frankly, the youth of City. So I can't see Bayern 30 shots and Real 3. It's a little more even, in my opinion, than City versus Bayern, and versus Real. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Europa League.
What was the only thing
Europa
interesting?
League.
Yeah.
It was Leverkusen again.
That's the only thing interesting.
Leverkusen went into Rome, and they beat Roma 2-0.
Yeah. It was not close.
See, that team, it wasn't close. It wasn't close. They maybe not close is not the right way to put it. They were never in danger of losing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It felt so, the performance felt so assured, so confident. They just knew that you people will mess up. They gave Roma the ball. Roma were just, play.
Roma under De Rossi is a good team.
It's a very, very good team.
Yeah.
A very, very good team. But they just made one minor crack like this. Grimaldo took the ball, gave it to Vers scored. Then the second goal was, oh God, sweet strike by that guy again, Andrich. He curved the ball. The keeper stood. He couldn't move like the Statue of Liberty. Watched the ball into the net. Fantastic goal. This team, because they played the game today, they won 5-1.
Yep.
Xhaka scored a bloody good goal today. This team has still not lost their game this season.
This is now is it 48th or 47th game? It's
40. Today will be 49th, I think.
Gosh.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
They've not lost a game this season. And these guys are going to win the quadruple, the proper quadruple. At this rate, because I don't see Roma overturning this game in Germany.
No, I don't think so.
And I don't think either Marseille or Atalanta can curse Leverkusen any headache. So I think it's going to be a Leverkusen-Atalanta final. The other game was 1-1, by the way.
Yeah.
So Leverkusen-Atalanta final, I think Leverkusen wins this. And I think they also win their FA Cup, the German FA Cup, the DFB,
DFB,
what they call it,
yeah,
Pascal or whatever. Yeah,
so
I think they win that
one
too.
quick thing on Atalanta, Scamacca, his movement for it was 1-1. He scored the one goal, I believe.
He did.
The movement for that one goal, I was just like, man, this is the Scamacca we saw for his national team, for his previous clubs, but we didn't see it at West Ham. And I think
because West Ham don't play proper football.
Yeah,
you know this.
Yeah, I'm like, it's West Ham's loss.
West Ham don't play proper football.
It's West Ham's loss, actually. You know, because they could have used them.
It's West Ham's loss.
Yeah, they could have used them.
I agree. It's West Ham's loss. West Ham's lost completely.
All right.
Anyway,
do we need to mention the conference?
On the conference league.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's because of Villa, right? Because Villa lost at home to Olympiacos 2-4. Yeah, and I look at Villa and I look at them and like, these guys are mentally worn out. Since they beat Arsenal, Akin, they've played 5.
Yeah,
they've played 5 games, and they've only won 1.
Yeah,
they lost 3, they drew 1. That one they drew was against Chelsea. They should have lost that game.
Yeah, they were down 2-0, right?
They should have lost that game. Yeah. Exactly. No, they were up 2-0. Then Chelsea came back and almost
Chelsea was
3-2.
Down 2-0. Yeah. Sorry.
Exactly. So Villa are beginning to wear out. They are seeing the finishing line, but it was like a marathon, and you have nothing left in your tank anymore, and you're just gasping to get to the finish line.
Yeah, and
that is what I think is going on.
Martinez is injured. Although what's the big goalkeeper's name? Robin somebody. He's fielding admirably.
The Swede.
Yeah, the Swede guy.
The Swede guy.
Yeah.
Is doing fine.
Yeah, he's
doing fine. But I'm not saying the team collectively, right? Because they've played so many games this season. Ollie Watkins today, the game they played today, I think they were away to, was it Bournemouth?
No, Arsenal played Bournemouth.
Brighton?
Sorry, it was Brighton away. Brighton away.
It was Brighton. Yeah. He looked the shadow of himself. The whole team looked tired.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them. These guys are there for the taking. If only our noisy neighbors, Spurs, right? If they are serious and they want to make but obviously they're not. Yeah. So I don't think Villa are gonna get out of this. It's just it's not good for them. I think they're spent, and they're just gonna limp across the finish line for the season altogether.
Squad depth is a problem. So which is also why they're not gonna sell Watkins over the summer.
They won't.
People who think he's coming to their club will be very disappointed. They need him for the Champions League. They need to add to that team.
They need him for the
Okay. So
let's quickly go through the other 4 leagues.
Okay.
Right.
We had a champion in La Liga.
All of them.
Yinka.
Yeah. So all of them we already know who the champions are across board for everybody. For the other 4 teams, La Liga, Madrid were confirmed champions yesterday. They beat Cadiz 3-0, and they did their bid. And it was only if Barca won, that is how the crowning will have been postponed to next week. And Barca were up 2-1 up until the 65th minute. Yeah, up until the 65th minute. And by 75th minute, they were down 4-2.
Yeah.
It's 4 games to go. I think Girona are actually going to finish the season ahead of Barca.
I think so too.
Which is a shame on Barca.
I'm so disappointed. And Girona were my pet team in La Liga this season. But I mean, it all started as almost a joke, right? Let's see how long they can keep this up for or whatever. The game started out crazy, right? So I mean, I think Barca scored in the 3rd minute. Girona
2nd or 3rd minute.
Yeah, Girona equalized from the kickoff after the goal, which is crazy. And then I think goals 3 and 4 for Girona also came within like a minute or so, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah,
like that happened.
It was back to back.
Yeah, and then this guy Porto, who came in as a sub, scored 2 goals. And one of them was like ridiculous. Like, it reminded me of the goal Callum Hudson-Odoi scored for Forest on Saturday. But It wasn't even, and then Harvey Elliott scored something like that for Liverpool
something
today.
Similar. Yeah.
You know, but just unbelievable. But I can never say the name of the striker for Girona. Dovvik. Oh gosh, how good is he, Yinka?
He is been very good this season, but something tells me he's gonna be a one-season wonder.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You know,
he has all the
I might be wrong. Yeah.
He has all the tools. He's
he
big.
Has all
he can move.
Tall. He can move. I get all that.
He can play a little bit.
But yeah, he can. I'm not that much of a fan. Frankly.
Okay, we'll see.
That
was his 20th goal, right? Good. Was that his 20th goal?
Yep.
Yeah, that was his 20th goal.
I think so too. I think that was his 20th goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, 20. That's his 20th goal. He's 26.
Okay, so he's not really, young.
It's not young.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's it. I'll be surprised if he gets better than this.
Yeah.
We might be seeing his peak. If he does, good luck to him.
Yeah.
All the best. Yeah. But
that's like a Giroud situation. Late bloomer.
Giroud just maintained that top level after 27 or 28 and was like that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's 55.
Now he's
I'm still playing.
Anyway, so the Serie A, the battle for the UCL is heating up.
Yeah.
There are 4 teams in contention. You have Atlanta, you have Bologna, you have Roma, and you can even add Juve to it. Although Juve, they are 3rd, Bologna is 4th. Then I think it's then Atlanta, then Roma, or vice versa. I'm not sure. Roma hosted Juve today, this evening. The game ended 1-1. It was a drab game. See, I've told you 1,000,001 times. Allegri is the most overrated coach.
You do not like that guy.
Yeah, come on. That game was... Roma were the only ones that were... No, okay, let me rephrase that. The whole Roma team and one player on Juventus, Enrico Chiesa, or is it the father is Enrico, the son is Federico, right? I keep mixing it up.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiesa, the son,
yeah.
That young man is a problem. That young man is a problem. He was the only Juve player today that was trying to do something. Other than that, the rest of the Juve players, the whole team, the way they were set up.
They're on holidays, bro.
Come on.
They're on holidays. They're done.
It was bad. Anyway.
They're done.
So let's move on to the EPL. We can, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So midweek game, Chelsea Spurs. Chelsea beat Spurs 2-0. Your friend, mate, Mr. Ange, mate, Postecoglou, is having a rough time. And I don't think he's handling it properly. See, say whatever you want to say about Arteta. He knows how to work the press. He knows when to speak, what to say, and when to shut up and not say anything. Yeah? And you and I you sent something on Jude Bellingham, and we're like, this young man is just 20. How come he says the right thing?
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's media training or it's innate or he was born with it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably all of the above.
Your friend, Mr. Ange, he's he's messing this up. So the contention or the issue the people have with him is around conceding from set pieces. Spurs have conceded 15 goals from set pieces this season. That is the 5th worst.
They've scored
in the league.
I think they've scored 11 or 12. They're underwater on this one.
So you are the people that are below you on the set piece conceding table is they're the bottom 3, more or less.
Pretty much.
And maybe one other mid-table team, I can't remember. And they keep asking you, even if you feel irritated by the question, you don't just trivialize it and make it seem as if they don't know what they're talking about. There's this air of arrogance and this bad attitude that is like, that in set pieces, none of my you guys don't know what you're talking about. But I'm like, dude, that's even if you believe that, you don't say that. You keep quiet. Or you tell them, oh, we know, we're working on it, we're doing. Because the 2 goals that Chelsea scored were from set pieces. Arsenal's 3-2 win, 2 from set pieces. And you still believe you don't have a problem? Of course you have a problem. Of course you have a problem. You have a defending problem. Is it the only problem you have? Hell no. But does that mean you should not make it seem as if the media or the people questioning you don't know what they're talking about?
Yeah, like they're out to
No,
get
I
you.
think that is kind of that is kind of it's more like arrogance to me, and he needs to stop, or else he will find himself on the job market.
Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure. He's under a lot of pressure. Okay,
it's crazy. It is crazy. Then today, today? They played it on today against Liverpool.
Yeah,
that game should have been 6-7-0 as at halftime.
It could have been.
So the 4-2 scoreline kind of, how do I put it? It flattered
Spurs.
Significantly. It wasn't a 4-2 game at all, right? And these are the people that you are hoping that they will do something against City next week.
Time out. 2 weeks time out. Let's talk about that real quick. So, City right now, here are the standings. Arsenal have 1 point ahead of Man City. Haven't played one more game, right? So there's a match day 34 fixture that wasn't played because of involvement in the FA Cup. So midweek between the 37th and 38th games, City have to go to the toilet bowl, as we call the Spurs Stadium, and play them on a Tuesday. So here is me grasping at all kinds of straws, right? Spurs will be at home to Burnley the Saturday before. Okay?
Yeah.
That should be a smash. City would have gone to Fulham. Yeah. City would have gone to Fulham at 12:30 that same Saturday. Pep doesn't like 12:30 games. I told you I'm grasping at straws. Fulham is actually a really tough place to go away. That's the real hope. City could go there and win 7-1. But Fulham have a really arrogant coach who thinks he's better than everyone. So I hope that he doesn't just lay his red carpet out for the champions. For the champions to just do whatever the hell they want. I hope that's not what happens. And then on that Sunday, Arsenal go to Old Trafford. In my opinion, it's time to go there and smash them. It's time. And Arteta is the kind of guy who knows these things. You remember. Let me put it this way. Arteta, when he's coaching his 1000th game, is not going to lose 6-0 like his old mentor Wenger did. I know that for a fact.
Oh, is that his 1000th game? Oh, okay. Sorry. I get what you're saying.
So, okay. That would never happen. That would you go to your enemy, the man who hates you more than anyone in the world, Mourinho, on your 1000th game, and you get done by him 6-0. I can assure you that would never happen to Arteta. I don't care how bad his team is. He will coach his way out of that. He will stop it at 5. It will never get to 6. I can assure you that. So that's what I expect. I expect these people to compete. So I'm grasping at straws, but we'll see. If City win out, City will be champions. Doesn't matter what Arsenal do. So, and technically, mathematically, Liverpool are still in it. So take it away, Yinka.
And leave Liverpool out of this.
They're still mathematically in. They're not out yet.
I don't think City and Arsenal will both mess up for Liverpool to even have a shot at this.
Well,
I'm not a betting man, but you know odds.
Yeah.
What do you think the odds are
Very tiny.
for Liverpool right now? It will be ridiculously tiny.
Very tiny.
It will be ridiculously tiny.
Yeah. 5 points
but
behind.
I hear you. I think it's high. I think Arsenal needs to go to Old Trafford
Smash.
and turn it from a theatre of dreams to a theatre of nightmare.
Oh yeah, they have to smash.
Yeah, you have to go there and do the business.
Yeah,
or else you don't deserve it. You don't deserve
what are we even talking
happens.
about? Yeah.
What are we talking about? So I for now, I think that's what the focus should be.
Yeah.
I'm even ignoring City altogether, right? Frankly, that's what I've learned. Just ignore City. In fact, the last game I didn't even watch it.
Oh,
I only
watched
saw
it.
the highlights.
It was a disgrace. It was a disgrace.
I saw that you were.
It was.
You said the wolves should be called cats.
They should be called cats or goats. Yeah, because
goats.
It was a disgrace. But the penalties were soft. Oh my god, it was so soft. Like, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. But Arsenal too got something that you can say is quite soft.
I disagree, but go on.
So let's we can quickly talk about that before we move on. Right. So the Arsenal game, I can see a lot of haters, quote and unquote, saying, oh, Arsenal or Bournemouth were robbed. Yeah. And people keep missing the point when it comes to these penalties or not. If we're talking in a silo and you ask me, was that Kai Havertz a penalty? My answer to you will be, for me, Yinka Yusuf, that's not a penalty. Yeah?
For me, it is.
But given the methodology, hear me out now. Given the methodology of the games you and I have seen and how refs refer games, that is 100% penalty. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my opinion does not matter. It is what the refs have been doing for the past 10 years. Do you understand?
Or more.
That is what matters.
Or more.
Exactly. So I'm like, you can't say that's not a penalty when I've seen it given so many times. Do I agree? Do I agree with? Now I've told you this. It's not every touch that is a penalty.
Yeah, I agree.
And you needed to be fouled. But now the refs they've created a big monster for themselves that you can't cop out of it anymore. You can't. You can't. That's the truth. So based on the way the game has been referred or refereed for the past 10 years, that is a slam dunk penalty. That's my position. So it's very, very simple.
So I'm gonna two things. One from me, one from Steve Nicol. Right? Steve Nichols was a Liverpool defensive legend. He's on ESPN now. So let's start with Steve. Steve said, remember, defenders usually take the side of the goalkeeper here. They hardly ever take the side of attackers getting penalties. Ever.
Yeah.
And he said,
ever.
In his 62 years on earth, that's never not been a penalty. Now, what are we talking about? The goalkeeper stretched his leg all the way out. What was he doing? Did he get the ball? He did not get the ball. So any other part of the pitch, you lay your feet. I mean, goalkeeper, you're supposed to use your hands. You went with one long leg all the way out. And you don't get the ball. What are we talking about? And there's contact. So that's number one. Me, I don't understand this. You dragged your leg thing. It's driving me nuts. I don't think the people talking about it, I don't think they run. Like literally in their day-to-day life, I don't think they run. I think they walk slowly, like fat 80-year-old people.
Can I come in?
Come in.
Akin, I didn't play football up to the level that we're watching, but I played for my department, played for my faculty, so I play football. Yeah. I know what Kai Havertz is doing. I can do it also.
Okay.
And we see, I'm telling you, we know how to sell these fouls.
But I don't think
there's a difference. Akin, there's a difference when you are cluttered, right? When you are proper fouled, right? Which is an example of what that high stud that bam on
Saka.
Saka's shin. Do you understand? And the difference between what Kai could have dribbled that goalkeeper and not go down.
So I think Saka could have dribbled the goalkeeper.
Down.
I honestly don't think Kai could have kept going.
No, he could have.
Okay.
That's my point. He could have. He could have. See, I'm being honest with this,
Yeah.
and I get where our friends are coming from. I know what to do. Once I see your leg, I'll just leave the leg trailing now. That's not a natural move for your leg to be trailing and dragging behind you. You were looking for the contact. See, I get it.
What is the
But
leg
the issue
doing
is,
there, Yinka?
Mr. Goalkeeper. Because the leg wants to catch the contact of the goalkeeper.
No.
But my
What's
point
the
is
goalkeeper's leg?
You mean the goalkeeper
doing there?
Precisely my point.
And that was,
so that's it.
You remember Casey Keller?
Because if that leg is not there, if that leg is not there, there's no touch, there's no contact. Yeah. So this thing, my position still remains: the refs have boxed themselves into a corner. You have given that 99% of the time.
And you've given it 99 times to Harry Kane. 99 times to Harry. No, Yinka.
You can now come and tell me it's not more a penalty.
I'm exaggerating just a little bit, but that's half of Harry Kane's goals came from penalties like that. Honestly, until people started whining, it never crossed my mind that it wasn't a penalty. I'm not even trying to be argumentative.
So that is where, if you see Ian Wright says, guys, I don't think this is a penalty.
Yeah, because he wants to be a purist. He wants to be a purist.
No. I think he knows. And this is the same, but my own counter is, you're looking at this differently. Ignore the striker. Look at the defender or the goalkeeper. What's your leg doing there?
Yeah. That's what Casey Keller said.
Because that's how I've interpreted the way the refs looked at this from day one. So for anybody to now come and say this is not a penalty now, you're just being...
we have to talk about the trailing leg thing. I do not believe in it. I do not.
Nah, it exists.
But Yinka, you don't have to hop over. If someone is trying to get the ball from you, you don't have to hop over their outstretched leg to play ball. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Akin, we've been selling penalties since the day football.
I don't consider it selling.
It's selling,
but Yinka, that's why I said any other part of the pitch.
It's selling.
Any other part of the pitch. Yeah. If someone is sliding for you, it's not your duty to hop. So you will always leave a trailing leg. So what you're saying, let's just talk about the physics of this, Yinka. The physics of it. You're saying, and remember, referees don't slow it down. We slow it down. Referees make a decision in the moment in real time. So this man is 6'4". Okay? He's galloping at speed. Right? We see his left foot stride, go forward. You guys are saying that while, he can't detach his two legs. They're still connected to his body. You're saying that other one needs to hop. No, just think about the physics of it.
How do you run normally? You don't run by dragging your feet, do you?
He didn't drag. He ran. So you guys are saying he needs to
go watch.
I've watched it like 16 times since yesterday. But you forget what the left leg is doing.
Dragging. Hear me out now. His leg was dragging before he touched the goalkeeper. You can't run and drag your leg. It has to be an intentional movement.
So what should his leg have done, Yinka? What should it have done?
When you're running, it's your studs that's touching the ground. And it's touching, it's coming up. It's touching, it's coming up. You don't use the tip of your toes to drag your feet on the grass like that when you're running normally. So nobody does that. Unless you know the leg is there and you want the leg to catch the goalkeeper's leg. But that's the only way.
So he should have hopped. Just tell me what the right... Yeah, it was his right. What his right foot should have done.
So hear me out. Yeah. Hear me out. If you're running, how do you run? What's the normal movement when you run? It's one feet over the other. It doesn't drag. It doesn't drag.
When there's an obstruction in front of you?
Do you understand my friend? When you're running. No. See, when you're running normally, how do you run? It's one foot after the other. It hops. There's no point where you're running that you drag your foot. Nobody runs that way.
But when they introduce...
That's my point.
When they introduce the defender's leg between your left foot and your right foot. Same answer?
That's a different thing.
That's what happened.
No. So but if you notice, the keeper's leg was on the floor.
Yes.
It was on the floor.
Okay.
And watch it properly, which I have, and I'm sure you have, but go watch it again. Akai starts dragging his foot a couple of centimeters before the contact. Go watch it again.
Okay.
I can tell you that is exactly what happened. That's not a natural movement when you're running. That is not.
That's also not part of the rule. You don't have to make a natural movement just because.
So, Akin, we are saying the same thing in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree it's a penalty. I'm not saying it's not a penalty, but the reason why I agree it's a penalty is because historically, the refs, who are the custodians of the methodology of officiating, have told me and you that that's a penalty in the past.
And Harry Kane has scored 1,000 of them. Exactly like that.
I agree with you.
1,000 of them.
That is bread and butter. That's what it was. So it's not only Kai, everybody does it. I told you, the penalty, Liverpool's penalty to against the United,
Harvey
the same thing happened.
Yeah, it was Harvey Elliott. Yeah.
Harvey Elliott, the same thing happened. The same thing happened. This thing happens in football. But people just choose to make noise when it's a particular group of people, or it doesn't favor them. Yeah. But for me, you've said it's a penalty all along. You can't change your mind all of a sudden. Now say, oh, sorry, that's no longer a penalty. Because of what? Yinka. I was wondering what they were looking at when they said VAR was checking it. I was like, what are you looking at?
In this same season, Yinka, Fabio Vieira came in as a substitute. Studs first on someone's shin against Burnley. Straight red. Red. Right? In this same season, what's his name? Charlie Ryan or something.
Charlie Ryan or Scott, I can't remember, one of them.
Yeah. Comes in, studs on Saka on his shin. VAR, nothing from the referee, not even a yellow.
Nothing happened.
He didn't get his yellow until the 95th minute or something. Right?
Yep.
And then
someone that should have been sent off in the first half.
Thank you. They went to VAR. What did VAR say? Dangerous, but not. What did they say? Reckless, but no. What did they say? Something, but not reckless, or something like that.
Something ridiculous. And I'm like, once again, this is the problem. City came to Arsenal. Kovacic, what's his name?
Yeah, they did it.
Studs up twice.
Nothing.
Unbelievable. You saw the gash on Saka's leg.
I said, yeah. It was bleeding. It was bleeding. There was a gash. It's ridiculous.
So if we need to keep the same energy across board, not only when it comes to Arsenal, guys. Let's be fair and transparent. So Akin, let's move on to your unpopular opinion. Do you have one for us this week?
I do. I'll keep it very, very, very simple. It's about Man City. They are really, really, really good. Okay? I want the people listening to go with me on this. Two things that seem not to make sense can both be true at the same time. City are not as good this season as they were last season.
Yep.
And they're still head and shoulders above everyone else. And it doesn't matter, even if Arsenal wins, that will still be the case. If Arsenal wins, Arsenal would have had the better season. But they would not have been the better team. Arsenal don't have better players than City. Arsenal are not a better team than City. I'm just going to remind people that City have now played their last 32 games. They're unbeaten. 6 draws and 26 wins or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
They haven't lost at home since sometime in 2022.
Since forever.
Something like that, right?
It was Crystal Palace was the last team to beat them. It was Crystal Palace.
Lose. We just talked about their subs that came in that will walk into any other team. Right? So, what's my unpopular opinion? 2 weeks ago, I said Arsenal fans need to calm down. Right? I will say it again. I've been seeing the usual suspects online saying, hey, if Arsenal doesn't win, do you look at Mikel Arteta? What I would just say is, look at Bayern right now. They're a mess. You know, their coach was fired. Now they've gone to their 5th option. Ralf Rangnick rejected them.
He did.
Yeah, he rejected them because he says in good conscience he couldn't start prepping for next season while leading Austria to the Euros.
Austria.
So good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. You know,
that's some smart excuse.
I know. You know, but so think about it. Think about Barcelona. Yinka, you just talked about they having all these meetings back and forth to see where is the coach? Where is the coach that would guarantee he can take your team that is not as good and take them to City and do better. So worst case scenario right now, Arsenal lose their next 2, City win their next 3, right? That will put City at what? They're at 82 right now. So that'll put them at 91.
91. And I'll put them at 91.
Yeah, and
Arsenal will be on 83.
At 83. That wouldn't be great because I think Arsenal were 85 last year or something like that. Yeah, they were 85 last year. But if Arsenal wins all their games, they'll be at 89. That's 89. Progress.
Yeah.
Now imagine this team and you add Alexander Isak next season. I think that's really all you need. And I'm being very specific in the striker that I'm talking about, because that's another thing. I'm going to wrap my unpopular opinion now. Everyone said Arsenal needs a striker. I'm like, calm down. Right now, they've scored more goals than anyone else in the EPL. They've scored one more than City. I know City has a game in hand, but they've scored more goals than anyone else. And City has a guy who can literally score 60 goals. The news of Haaland's demise, greatly exaggerated. This man, this is now his 5th season outside of his home country of Denmark, Yinka. Guess how many goals he scored in the last 5 seasons?
Of Norway, rather.
Oh, no, Norway. Sorry, Norway.
Yeah.
Guess how many he has scored?
You tell me.
201.
Wow.
201 in 5 seasons.
Wow.
In 3 countries. And is what? Is he 23 yet?
I think it's probably not 23.
I think it's 22.
I don't think so.
I think it's 22.
Wow.
He scored his 201st goal.
He's 23.
It's 23. Okay. He scored his 201st goal yesterday.
He'll be 24 in July, actually.
Okay. So this would be his 24 year season. Wow, this would be his 23-year season. He's not gonna turn 24 until the end of the season. So this is who everyone has to compete with, and Arsenal are building smartly. It's really hard to spend 105 million on a player, and no one ever talks about the price tag because Declan Rice has been everything. It's been everything.
More than everything.
So how can you be an Arsenal fan and not be happy? And how can you be an Arsenal hater and open your mouth and literally say anything about this team when your teams... Yinka, you know where I'm going to close this at. The opponent Arsenal plays next have a goals difference of +1. +1. Man United. They've scored 52 goals. They've conceded 51. They have a goals difference of +1. I rest my case. Go on. Do your donkey of the week.
And if you do a return on investment kind of, in the amount of money that they've spent compared to the goals that they've scored.
Or their wages.
Those goals will be expensive.
Oh yeah.
Super duper expensive.
Or the wages they pay. Their wages are much higher than Arsenal's.
Way, way higher. I like the fact that you talked about Rice.
Oh.
Yeah. That 105 is looking like a bargain.
Which is insane when you think about it.
Which is insane. When nobody's talking about his price tag.
No.
Which then makes me begin to wonder that if Arsenal had gotten Mikhail Mudryk instead of Chelsea, would it have been the same thing?
No, it wasn't ready.
Is okay, because I think so too.
It wasn't ready.
Is it the Chelsea environment that is not favoring him? He's
not ready.
Is it that they don't know how to wrap their hands around him and make him feel at home and get the best out of him, kind of. You never know.
Yeah,
But
you
I think
never.
I agree with you. Like, it's not just
not. I mean,
he's not
think
ready.
about
He's far from
Fabio Vieira. Modric would have just been
Yeah.
at Arsenal what Fabio Vieira is, just not ready. Lots
Yeah.
of flashes, just not ready. Physically, is more ready than Vieira, but mentally, he's not there. You know.
And funny enough, talking about Vieira, most of the Arsenal players, when they ask who is the most underrated player at Arsenal, everybody says
Oh
Vieira.
yeah, the skills are there.
Everybody says Vieira.
You know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I totally agree with your position, with your unpopular opinion. Right? It's ludicrous that anybody is saying, "Would you start looking at Arteta?" I'm like, what are you guys talking about? This is what it's nobody's birthright for you to win stuff every year.
Yeah.
All you want, but I can say it's my birthright for my team to compete and be relevant.
Yes.
And one way, this team will still win something eventually. Yeah. But you have a Goliath in front of you in City, in terms of spending power, player quality, coaching quality.
Yeah.
Where Arsenal is nowhere near City in terms of those three. Yeah. That's who you're dealing with.
No, and this is how close this thing is. I really believe if Timber and Partey were around for the first half of the season, just the first half of the season,
we won't be saying the same thing.
I think
I totally.
I think they would not have drawn at Fulham. I think they would not have drawn at home to Spurs.
No, I'll go a step further. The league would have been done by now.
I agree. Yeah,
Arsenal would have won the league today.
Yeah.
Today with 2 games left, they would have won the league.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up this session with my
Lord
with my donkey of the week.
All right.
I have 3 nominees.
Oh, just 3 this time.
No, just 3 this time. A lot of people behave.
Okay.
You saw that. What was his name? Jackson cut off his head.
I saw that.
Yeah. And I told you what my son said about Jackson. I did.
Yeah, you did. You did.
The young man looked at me and said, after Jackson did something ridiculous, looked at me and said, "Dad, anything is better than Jackson."
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Jackson. I said, no. Even his hair is better than.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so Jackson is not on my list today. He scored. I think he's turned a new leaf. I'm happy for him. So keep that up. Don't get on my list again. So the first nominee is actually Barcelona.
Oh.
Yeah, as a whole team. That bottling that happened today, just have a bit more pride and push Madrid a bit further. Right? You bottled the whole season and you now wrapped it up in a perfect example of what bottling is this afternoon. Yeah? The lack of energy, the lack of purpose, the lackadaisical attitude, and Girona were all over them. And Girona really deserved to win. It's a shame in a season where Madrid came first, right? What you expect is for Barca to be second. So Barca will most likely finish the season third. And for their performance this week, they're my first nomination as my donkey of the week.
Wow.
Number 2, second nominee will be Tottenham Hotspur. the team altogether. I can send you a link. I'm not sure if I did. There's a popular sports fan, Expressions. I'm sure you know him.
Oh yeah.
He does his watch along. I actually watched the game with him.
I
intentionally watched the game along with him today. Oh my god. He was livid. He was seething. It's like, you cannot have a team like this. Even if you don't have any other thing, you should have the energy. You should have the drive. Look at Harvey Elliott's third goal.
Crazy.
Look at the 3 defenders that were marking him.
Were they?
Just look at them. Nobody threw their body on the line to even defend the guy or block the shot or anything. It shows you, right, that they are either not in favor of their coach or they've given up altogether on the season.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what it seems like. Right? And for that, The whole Spurs team. Yeah, my second nomination for the Donkey of the Week. Now, I had to separate this third nominee from the bunch. I intentionally picked their coach, Mr. Postecoglou, as my third nomination for Donkey of the Week. His arrogance, his flippant attitude is just not what is expected of a top coach. And just after the Chelsea game, he kind of threw the whole team under the bus. So maybe the team getting on my nominations list is actually because of him. Because he said he needs to build with players that want to be here. That's what he said. When Arsenal beat them last week, he deflected significantly. He's the same person that said, I'm not interested in VAR. I just want to do my job, coach my team, blah, 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 blah. When they had the mess up against Liverpool, or rather when VAR messed up when they played Liverpool, all of a sudden, you're not calling out VAR after the game, after the Arsenal game. And I'm like, guy, you can't do this. We have receipts. I can show you videos where you said it is not the coach's job to criticize referees. All of a sudden, it happened to you. Now you're criticizing referees. So altogether, his flippant attitude, his arrogance, the fact that he cannot appreciate that in the league where I play, set pieces matter. There are teams that, not only one team, multiple teams that have set piece coaches. Arteta had to get his set piece coach that was at Man City to come join him at Arsenal. Set piece used to be Arsenal's major bane. Akin, you know this. And the teams knew that. Right now, Arsenal has turned a threat into a strength. And it doesn't mean you are not playing modern football or no, that's not what it means. It means you are respecting the opposition. That's what it means. And also means that you know that if I have 4 tall centre backs, which is what Arsenal have, you have 2 lengthy centre backs. I mean, defenders rather, 2 centre backs, right back and left back. Usually tall people. And I also have a Rice in the middle. I have a Kai Havertz. That means at the minimum, I have 6 players that are a threat to the opposition from a set piece standpoint. It will be stupid of you as a coach not to explore how you can make that a strength. So for Ange to sit down there with this arrogant attitude and just, disregard, for me, it takes me the wrong way completely. And that is not what is expected of a top coach. And if you're not careful, mate, you might not be the coach of Spurs come next season. You might not be. This is not Celtic. This is not Australian football. You need to read the room and understand in this environment that I'm in, things need to change. Why am I worried about his success? It's Spurs. I don't know why.
I was wondering.
Maybe I should just let him.
I was wondering.
I should just let him continue. It's just that I looked at him and I'm like, I wouldn't do this as a coach. You don't do this. You don't say these things. Maybe he needs a bit more media training. He felt irritated by the question and I was wondering why. There's a pattern to it. You've conceded 15 goals from set pieces.
Amazing.
It's ridiculous. So that's my third nomination for Donkey of the Week. And from the way I've spoken, you obviously know who the winner is.
Postecoglou.
Thank you very much. Mr. Postecoglou, don't make it on my list anymore. Respect your opposition and take care of your team. You guys are poor from set pieces defensively. You're poor, very, very poor. And that is not how English football is. You need to do better. I can rest my case.
All right. I have nothing to add. So, I mean, I agree. So, nothing to add. So that I guess that brings us to the end of this episode on that happy note.
Akin, we tried today.
We tried to keep
today.
it.
We targeted 145.
Yeah.
And we're
roughly
bang on 145.
Roughly. All right. So let's wrap it.
Thank you very much, guys, for listening to us. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for watching and listening to us. Please continue to do that and tell your friends about us. And please watch this space. We have some exciting things that we're cooking that are coming up, and we'll keep you posted as they materialize. Akin.
Yinka, get us Coach George, please. Finidi George, since you're rubbing shoulders with famous people. So
with famous people.
Get him on here.
I'll try.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Yinka. We will see you next week. Bye bye.